Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to the Favorite Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host Brian.
Dan, how you doing?
Doing good. We have a special guest today, owner of 200 Proof Sports on Instagram and TikTok. Let's give a special welcome to Grayson Schutesman.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Thank you for coming on. A lot has happened in this past week, and it's actually been crazy. Things from the NFL combines to records being broken, but let me not belabor. Dan, let's just get straight into it. Talk to me. What's going on in the NFL?
Where do we begin? There's a lot going on in the NFL. I'll start you off with the draft combine. Or was it the draft combine, scouting combine? I think it's called the scouting combine. Either way, these outcoming rookies in the 2024 class went through some drills, and I got a couple stock ups, and I got some stock downs. I'm gonna start off with the stock ups. I didn't know this guy before Saturday, but after Saturday, everyone knew him. Isaac Guerrero from Louisville, running back, I think he ran the fastest 40 at his position, and his metrics across the board were just really, really good. And then you had JJ McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan. A lot of people were kind of on the fence about JJ, but he showed his stuff. And then my personal favorite, Lav McConkey out of Georgia. He's looking nice, real nice. He has some good measurables. In addition to him, we had Xavier Worthy out of Texas and Junior Wright out of Tennessee, wide receiver and running back respectively. As a dynasty football player, I was tuned in through and through. I got some rookie picks, so I was doing my own scouting because my team needs some work. So I liked what I saw. But on the flip side, a few players kind of didn't really show what I was expecting. The likes of Keon Coleman out of Florida State, he had a pretty bad 40 time. Troy Franklin looked a little rough. Wide receiver out of Oregon, and Bucky Irvin, running back out of Oregon, he looked a little rough as well. There were a few others. I think his name is Aldrich Eastamy out of Notre Dame. Y'all know how I feel about Notre Dame players, except Kyron and Kyle Hamilton. But for the most part, Notre Dame players don't move me. But yeah, I was entertained. I have a few tidbits here, but I don't want to go too deep before I open the floor. So let's talk about it.
So you're talking about Isaac Guerrero. So I'm looking at his stats right now. He was the highest ranked running back in terms of athleticism. And you're talking about his 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.33. Who do you guys think is going to draft this guy?
I think the people who need the running back the most is the Dallas Cowboys. And if there's I think it depends what happens with the two great current free agent running backs who are Derrick Henry and unfortunately my boy Saquon Barkley. And if Saquon Barkley, because I went to Penn State at the same time as Saquon, and I'm a Giants fan.
Oh, wow.
If Saquon Barkley goes to the Cowboys, I will cry a lot.
That's double. That's a double homicide right there. That's gonna hurt.
But if they miss out on both of them, I think they should probably draft him.
Makes sense.
I could definitely see that, right? Because especially with who's the running back this year? Cowboys. I'm blanking. Tony Pollard. He did okay, but he really isn't worth like bringing him back long term, especially with the current state of the running back market. It's really kind of driving towards invest in young talent because you can get them for cheap and get them for a long period of time. And then after you essentially get to like 25 plus, go where the wind blows. I think Derrick Henry, I'm a Ravens fan, so I'm a homer. I think Derrick Henry should go to the Ravens. He plays Ravens football, in my opinion.
That'd be scary.
Yeah, especially with the new things they're going to do to the O-line. But as a Guerrero, I could definitely see him on the Cowboys. And I'm trying to think of another team that comes to mind who could definitely use a running back. I wouldn't be surprised if – I also got to look at the draft order. If Dan, who do you think he's gonna go to while I try and figure it out?
I'm looking at my big board right now. Off the top of my head,
Running backs.
honestly, I could see him. Well, no, not Chicago. Maybe Minnesota or
Mm.
or
They're
yeah,
kind of
like
in a similar situation as the Cowboys, right?
yeah,
Like franchise guy. They had his backup who they thought was just as good, and he wasn't.
yeah. I Dallas was on my radar. Minnesota was on my radar. I also see the likes of at Cincinnati looking at a running back, but which I doubt because they just took Chase Brown last year. But Cleveland, that that's a sneaky one right there. I think the Browns might be in the running for a running back as well.
Oh, that's so sad because of what happened to Chubb.
Yeah, man. It's like the game is the game, unfortunately. And yeah, it's especially when you play that position, you are quite replaceable. And I think they may be in the running for a new guy there.
Speaking of Baltimore, I love the Wire quote. The game is the game.
Hey, I
Facts.
was watching the wire earlier today. So
No, especially and something good that you mentioned, Dad, is especially when you're looking at these teams in totality and what they're drafting and how things kind of sneakily move up. Even when I'm looking at like this mock draft, I don't see a single running back in the top 50. Like, is that kind of like a shift that teams are making now? I mean, I see a lot of wide receivers, O linemen, tight ends, but what's really
this
going on here?
this particular draft class, the running back class in 2024 is bad. I'll just I'll just keep it on. It's not the best. If you look at the metrics, if you just look at the quality of player, is not a lot. There's a lot to be desired compared to last year when you had Bijan and Jameer Gibbs both going in the first round, and then even in 2022 when you had Brees and Damian Pierce, yeah, Brees Hall, Damian Pierce. It's like comparing these last two running back classes to this one. Yeah, there's not much there. You really got to dig in the trenches, no pun intended, if you want to find a gem in this class.
Yeah, and guys, they've been moving away from drafting running backs in the first round. Like they have to be a generational type talent, like
Yeah.
Saquon. I think Saquon, Bijan, and Gibbs. Are they the did Pierce was drafted in the first round?
Damian Pierce, I think, was a fourth rounder, maybe a
Yeah.
second.
So even like the really good guys for a while weren't getting drafted in the first round because there was just too many guys who like were popping from the third round. Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I mean, he's coach now, but James Robinson, he went undrafted, and he was looking like a gem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he had a few injuries, but prior to that, he was a. And I think that's another thing about like being a late to known draft capital running back is if you perform, there's no guarantee you're gonna get your money.
Mm.
So it's always an uphill battle. Cause look at James Robinson, his rookie year, I think he had 1,000 yards. I think he had a heel injury year two, or is either a heel injury or an Achilles tear. Came back year three. He was looking okay. Moved him to the Jets, and we haven't heard from him since.
I mean, if you're honestly, if you're growing up and you're a running back and you want to make money, figure out how to catch the ball, be a wide receiver instead.
Well said. Well said.
That is
Your
true.
career will be longer, you'll get paid more.
Well said. Damian Pierce is a fourth rounder. So yeah, I think the most like the highest draft cap. I think Brees Hall was an early second. Bijan and Gibbs were both first rounders, and yeah, that's about. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire went in the first round.
Yeah, first round pick number 32 in a 2020 draft.
Yeah, so it's and he's not the he got beat up by Isaiah Pacheco, who was like a six rounder. So it's like there's
Right.
no real like draft cap when it comes to running backs. It's either are you a dog or not. That's about it.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that you guys were saying is like that generational talent factor. Because you see guys like Christian McCaffrey, he went number 8, and even like in hindsight, it's like, oh, he should have won number one. Clearly, this guy is worth every single dollar. And even when you look at Josh Jacobs now, uh, yeah, this year wasn't as crazy as his typical performance, but he still performed.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, they probably just loaded the box against him. I didn't watch a ton of Raiders. I watched as much as I could. They weren't fun. They weren't a fun watch, but yeah, it seemed like they were just like, "We're gonna stop Josh Jacobs. What else are you gonna do?"
What are your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell, real quick?
Uh, he's not a franchise quarterback. He's probably like a good backup if you need someone like your guy's out twisting an ankle and you need someone for 2-3 games. He might win you 2 of them.
There we go. That's all I need.
So wait, actually, I was reaching out to Raiders fans earlier this week, and I was asking them who they think that the Raiders should be targeting, and a lot of fans were saying either get Justin Fields or trade up into a top 3 pick to get Jaden Daniels. They're really big on Jaden Daniels and the chemistry he has with the head coach.
And Antonio Pierce, yeah. Coming up from Arizona State, both of them, all 3 of them had a few cups of coffee at the Arizona State. And I get it, but like, I don't know. I feel like Jaden Daniels is the biggest wild card in this QB class outside of, I feel like JJ McCarthy is a great floor. Drake May is like, she's QB2 on my board. Caleb is Caleb. It's controlled risk. And then Jaden Daniels is like, well, you went to LSU, you had a great year, but can you do this continuously? We don't know.
I think Jaden Daniels has the biggest upside when you look at everything, his athleticism and ability. I think it's there.
Yeah. I think he's like the Anthony Richardson of this draft. I feel like what you just said, that's what we were saying about Anthony Richardson last year. Like, he didn't play a ton in college. He has crazy athleticism. Let's see what he can do in the pros. And from what very little we saw of it, it looked awesome.
Can't lie. It did.
But he did get injured twice immediately. So
it's like that style of play is not sustainable. So if he can rein it in, then I'm all aboard.
So this brings up a question, right? When considering players, do you think that a player's potential is capped by what team drafts them?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the most underrated part of the draft. Like, I think even with quarterbacks, it seems like the past, as long as let's say I've been paying close attention to the draft for 10 years, it always seems like the guys who go lower in the draft, with a few exceptions like Joe Burrow, who go lower in the draft to better teams, end up being the better quarterbacks.
That is true.
Like, when I came out of college, it was 2018. The quarterbacks were Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen were the top 3. The next 2 went to playoff team. It was Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Mahomes was the third guy drafted in his draft. Like, it just seems like if you throw a young QB into a bad situation with a bad O-line and bad coaches and a bad organization, they're going to turn out to be a bad quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like Sam Darnold was doing from the start. He came out very young, very, very young, and that was those were Gase's Jets, right? Adam Gase was the coach here.
Oh, yeah.
And we all know Adam Gase is god awful, like bad. Like, it's like you shouldn't be doing anything related to football. It's that bad. So he was doomed from the start. Sam Darnold's first pass in the pros was a pick 6.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson's was too.
It might have been. I gotta look into that. But I remember Sam Darnold Monday Night Football threw a dot to the ops.
Sounds like a welcome to the NFL moment for sure.
Oh yeah, this is the same Sam Darnold that was seeing ghosts, caught mono, etc. He is a very unlucky guy.
I mean, but I think some players are able to rise above the implications of their situation, right? Like when I look at Jags QB,
Everyone's.
Trevor Lawrence, I feel like I don't think the Jags are bad by any means, but when he got drafted, right, he went number 1 overall, right? The Jags weren't doing hot at all. I feel like he's really been able to rise above whatever coaching or implication that situation had. And I think they're going to be a playoff team next year.
I'm going to offer some pushback. But go ahead, Grayson. Because I
His
think you know.
first year was horrific when they had the terrible coach and the bad roster.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then they got a Super Bowl winning coach, which I still don't. It worked out for Philly. I still don't get why they fired him so quick after their Super Bowl.
We're gonna talk about that.
But yeah, they got a Super Bowl winning coach, and they've made some moves, and they put competency around him, and all of a sudden it's like, oh look, this guy who's 6'5" and has a strong arm and is smart and athletic. Turns out he when you put competency around him, you get competency in return.
Mm.
So I will say he's a bit of a turnover machine. That's the only thing. He led the league in picks as a rookie. He's led the league in lost fumbles 2 years in a row since then.
That's true. I still think there's a lot of upside there. I don't know. I can't not believe it in him because he has every tangible there is.
Yes.
Often there's these intangibles that we can't see, but
yes.
He has all of the tangibles.
I believe he will be playing quarterback in the NFL for a long time. I don't know if he's ever going to reach that ceiling, though. He kind of reminds me of Jay Cutler coming out. And depending on who was here is this, you may think I'm taking a shot at Trevor Lawrence or overrating Jay Cutler, but Jay Cutler was nice. And he just had a very low motor and all the physical profile was there. He just didn't really have the success you would think somebody with that profile had. And as of right now, Trevor Lawrence is 20 and 30 in your first 50 games, 1-1 in the playoffs. A lot of turnovers. It's shaky, baby.
But is that more on him or the organization, though, right?
A little bit both.
I mean, hold on to the football.
I mean, but like
he's getting hit a lot. He dropped the football more, but it's a little bit of both. And God, I hope he doesn't become Jacob. Talk about a guy, all the tangibles, but that was zero intangibles.
Yeah.
I've heard his teammates hated him so much he had a separate locker room.
Oh, he did. I did hear that. I think the only person that was cool with Jay Cutler was Brandon Marshall. And Brandon Marshall, he's an interesting person. So that's not saying much.
So is what you guys are saying that Jay Cutler did not have that dog in him?
No.
No, that man had a cat in him.
Oh, wow.
Well said.
No, but speaking of QBs, QB that you talked about there that was kind of rose in the draft start was JJ McCarthy. Talk to me about that.
I mean, I wish Zay was here because me and Zay kind of highlighted this throughout the college season. I already told you JJ McCarthy's that guy. I just hope he goes to a landing spot where he doesn't need to be the sole chef. If he's a sous chef, I think he's great. If he's the head chef, I think he may need some time to get accustomed to the NFL speed. But I think he's a very capable QB. I think what 26-2 in college. He's very talented. I'm looking forward to seeing him playing the pros.
Penn State never beat him. Like what you were saying, I was looking at the draft order because you said if he goes somewhere where he doesn't immediately have to be the guy.
Yeah.
What do you think about Denver at 12? They need a quarterback now.
So like,
yeah.
And I think that's a good spot because you got a good run game. You got Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams, and if they bring back P. Ryan, you got P. Ryan. The wide receivers are there. I think Jerry Jeudy is salvageable if they bring him back. And I think Cortland Sutton is a good too. And Greg Dulcich, if he can stay healthy. You can have something there. And I don't need to say anything about that defense. We've seen the defense. It was like it's like 2004 over there. So yeah, if you put him in a situation like that, I think he will only elevate. I think if you use your second and third round picks to get some more skill position players there, it'll be a nice little showing if they're able to pull that off. Maybe draft the wide receiver in the second or third. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect spot for him, really. Of the teams that I think would draft him.
Yeah, I have a mock here. This mock has them going to 11 to Minnesota.
Ooh,
I
just
like that as well. Yeah, I like that as well. I think the Vikings are just a good place to just be. So I don't mind that at all either.
So so we touch all the bases, who do you guys think are all the teams that are definitely in need of a new QB this year? You guys mentioned Minnesota, the Broncos. I think we touched a little bit on the Raiders.
Chicago thinks they need a new QB. The Commanders, the Patriots, they think. I'm gonna tell you in a second. The Commanders, the Patriots, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Raiders, debatably. So it was a six.
are we sure the Vikings are losing Kirk Cousins?
No, we're not sure, but he wants to get paid.
That's true. I don't know
And
if they're gonna give him another big one.
yeah, Kirk Cousins' agent, I need to meet him, and I just need to take a master class because I know that his pockets got the mumps. I already know. Kirk Cousins' agent gets paid very well.
Kirk
I'm
Cousins
sure.
doesn't even use the money. Have you seen the quarterback show? The man, I was watching that show on a bigger TV than he owned. Like he lived in like a $300,000 house and wore Kmart.
You know, I've been meaning to watch that quarterback docuseries, and I will. And you saying that inspired me. I might start it tonight.
You're gonna fall in love with Kirk Cousins and just his like aggressive Midwestern niceness.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. But looking at this mock draft right now, Caleb May and Jaden Daniels are the top three. They have Marvin Harrison going 4 to Arizona, followed by Brock Bowers at 5 to the Chargers, Neighbors at 6 to the Giants, Odunze at 9 to the Bears, and then JJ McCarthy 11 to the Vikings. According to Tankathon, I'm gonna look for another mock in a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one I got had. I think this is if they don't get Justin Fields, is the Falcons take JJ at 8.
I've seen that as well.
I think most people think they're gonna get I think they're gonna get Fields.
What do you guys think about the Steelers? I saw some things saying that the Steelers might get Justin Fields as well, that they're putting together a pretty nice package for the Bears.
I did see that, but I've also seen General Manager Khan say that he has full faith in Kenny Pickett.
Whoa,
As
full
a
faith is
dynasty
crazy.
owner, I'm very happy. But uh I'm tempering my expectations with Kenny. I think yeah, this is the end of the road for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I think they had 3 guys on that roster that were all not supposed to be starting quarterbacks. It was like Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and they just interchangeably put them in, and it just looked the same every time. It's like
Yeah,
these
I
guys are
got
supposed to be quarterbacks.
yeah, my homie said they're all just Kenny Pickett variants. You know
Yeah.
how like Android 18, Android 17, it's KP8, KP6, KP2. They're all the same.
It's like the same way that the Ravens have a heavy running back room. The Steelers have a heavy QB room that they just rotate through.
Yeah, the only difference is the Ravens running backs play different.
That's
Kenny
true.
Pickett, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky all play the same.
At least Justin Fields would make it interesting.
Yeah.
He might never learn
Yes,
to actually throw the ball, but at least he'll be fun to watch. Kenny Pickett was rough.
very.
I kind of
Uh,
like Mason Rudolph in that playoff game versus Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie to you. He showed heart.
Yeah, I think he was the best one of those 3 generic guys, but
That's just because he's been there. That's not really a talent thing. That's just a familiarity thing.
The guy's had a lot of head injuries.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets like when Miles Garrett hit him with the helmet. Like
Oh, I can't forget that. I was in the 90s
everyone
watching
remembers that. But a few
that.
weeks earlier, he got knocked unconscious in the middle of the game, and they had to just leave him there because their stretcher broke. And then
Oh,
until he like had to wake up and walk himself off. They didn't have
Drew, no
backup
way.
stretcher.
Drew, no way.
the
That was a
league.
few weeks before the Miles Garrett thing. I'm like, this guy's taking a beating.
No way.
That was
This
definitely swept under the rug.
Oh,
a
a
broken
lot. I went to Penn State, so half my friends are Steelers fans.
No, I
I'm
understand
so
it.
sorry for you.
It's they don't
The
get to play.
NFL,
They have winning seasons every year. I'm a Giants fan. When do we get one of those?
Hey,
well,
y'all got two
what do you
QBs off
think
of
of
Tom
the
Brady.
Giants taking Nick?
That's true. That's why we never were big Patriots haters. Like we got ours. We beat them every time.
That's
Well
fair.
said. Well said.
Yeah, what did you say?
What do you so I was looking at the mock and I also found this tweet from Warren Sharp. Y'all don't have the best hit rate in the first round. I mean, Andrew Thomas is looking okay, but before that is Saquon at 2 in 2018. Then to Daniel Jones at 6, to Andrew Thomas at 4, and then Kadarius Toney at 20. This mock has y'all taking Malik Neighbors at 6. I love that, but y'all need a quarterback.
Here's the thing: we just paid Daniel Jones for no reason. We
Yeah,
had the franchise tag. We didn't use it on Saquon.
yeah.
He had one good season. He had like okay season, a bad season, and a good season. You don't know what he is yet. That is literally why the franchise tag existed, and we didn't do it. We gave him 3 years at like 45 million a year.
Y'all paid them? I thought it was a 1 year deal.
No, we paid him. I think maybe the last year is not guaranteed, so we can get off of it after this year.
Oh my.
But yeah, it made no sense at all. It still makes no sense. We're
And yeah, as of 9 hours ago, you're once again not franchise tagging. So
not
he
franchising.
has over 1,200 carries. He's 27. He has over 1,200 carries. I'm not gonna lie to you. It won't hurt to move off Saquon at this point.
I mean, it
Only
won't take.
because only because it's like where he is and like in foot like 27 and running back years is like 34. And he just already had a season-ending injury. He's still good, but it's like I think as a businessman, you can't just pick up another Saquon Barkley. But if I'm the Giants GM, I'm looking elsewhere at this point.
Yeah, no, I want to set him. He should be free. He's got to get out of here. Do you know? Just one statistic. He has the record for most hits behind the line of scrimmage in a season because we have had the worst offensive line 5 years in a row. Last year, we actually we broke the record for most sacks allowed.
Mm.
So he had the record for most hits behind the line of scrimmage for a running back, and he broke his own record from the year before. So he needs to go. Just please not to the Cowboys.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like he needs an O line. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Texans.
Such a nice guy.
Texans.
But speaking of franchise tagging, I'm pretty sure what today was the deadline. Yeah, give us an update on everything going on with franchise tags.
All right. According to NFL.com, so you had the franchise tag candidates. There were quite a few. You had Josh Allen, the linebacker. He got franchise tagged at around $24 million. So he'll be staying in Jacksonville. Brian Burns had that same price tag in Houston and Carolina. Kyle Duggar got the transition tag, which is essentially a 1 year offer. It guarantees the right to refuse. So it's like essentially like it's like restricted free agency. So it's like if you don't, it guarantees that the original call the right of first refusal. So yeah, if you get a better offer, they can deny it if they want to, and they
Huh?
don't. Yeah,
Hatch it.
yeah. Instead of matching it, they're like, yeah, it's take that, and then it's like you don't get anything for it. Whereas I think there's a similar deal where in that case, if it gets matched, you get some type of draft compensation. T. Higgins was tagged about a week and a half ago. Jalen Johnson was tagged by the Bears today. Justin Madubuike was tagged today. Michael Pittman was tagged today. These franchises like to wait till the deadline. No, right? It's like turning in an assignment. LJ Sneed was tagged yesterday. Anton Wilford was tagged today. Saquon and Xavier McKinney. The Giants didn't use the tag on either of them, and then the Dolphins are letting Christian Wilkins test the market, D tackle. So it's interesting enough. I think the Chargers, Texans, and Cowboys should all be looking at Saquon. And yeah,
So before we break down these different taggings, I didn't know that there was different types of franchise tags. You mentioned a transition tag. How many different types are there?
there's three non-exclusive, exclusive, and transition.
Okay,
Non-exclusive.
I only knew about the first two. I didn't know about the transition one.
Yeah, I knew about them, but it's like I mean, they're all the same to me, but there is a little bit of difference. The most, like the most known one is the non-exclusive. You take the average of the top five, and you pay X player that per year. While you're tagged, you can still negotiate with other teams, but the team that tagged you can match. The exclusive. Only the team that's had you can cut you a deal. So you can still negotiate. You can still negotiate, but only that team that's had you can like you can discuss an offer with. And then the transition is essentially if the team doesn't want to match the offer, you can leave and the team that you're leaving doesn't get any compensation. So for example, when the Ravens tagged Lamar last year, had he left, I think y'all would have got like 2 first-round picks. But if it was a transition tag, you wouldn't have gotten anything.
Hmm. So you do the exclusive so that you can get something out of it. You do the non-exclusive, so it's like you can test the market, but they can still say no for the
Yeah,
non-exclusive.
pretty much. Yeah.
They have to match the offer.
Oh, okay. So if you do the non-exclusive, you don't think they're gonna hit for anything. And if you do the transition,
Yeah.
uh,
I
you're
learned about the non-exclusive last year because of Lamar. That's what they did to him, and they're like,
Yeah.
you can go out, and if someone gives you a better offer, we can also then match it. And then
Yep.
no one even tried to get Lamar Jackson, which is insane.
yeah, I think that was very disrespectful to Lamar. I'm surprised that a lot of these teams they still don't think that he has that dog in him, and he definitely does.
Oh no, the Falcons are idiots.
He's awesome. He ran into Mahomes. He's not Mahomes. No one's Mahomes. He's awesome. He might be the next best guy. He's in the running.
You know, all I'm saying is Lamar's the only guy to throw a pass to himself in a playoff game.
That's not true. Marcus Mariota did that.
Marcus Mariota.
Oh, I
And
did not know that.
scored.
Was a game winner.
For real? Oh,
Yeah.
It was the only highlight of his career.
Nah, don't do that. Come
Wait,
on.
he's also in the quarterback show.
hey. No, but let's talk about some of these people who got franchise tagged. I think the Matabike by the Ravens, that was a great move. Michael Pittman, obviously. L'Jarius Sneed, I don't think he didn't get the traditional franchise tag. They gave him a different one, right?
You got the non-exclusive. So they allowed him to look at a potential trade partner, but he's only $19.8 million. When they trade you, you had to sign an extension.
Mm.
So that's why you got to give up those 2 first-round picks. So if you get traded, it's like, all right, I'll take the draft capital. You can get your money, but then you gotta go argue with the Jets or whoever you get traded to get your money now.
Mm. So it's kind of disadvantageous to the player, no way, any way you look at it.
Yeah.
That's why it exists.
When did the franchise tag become a thing, and why did they start doing it?
Oh, I feel like it's been a thing since like
I actually don't know when it
not
started. If anyone wants, whoever can look that up first.
Yeah, let me see.
Because yeah, it definitely exists to give. It's basically exists so that the NFL isn't like the NBA, where like guys are like changing teams and like a year away from their contract ending and being like, trade me. So it's obviously exists to disadvantage the players.
It says it was introduced in 1993 through the NFL's fourth ever CBA after
not
the
the
Players Association sought
inception.
to create a form of free agency. NFL owners, in turn, were looking to install a salary cap. So it was essentially the first free agency, but they're like, all right, but we're gonna start capping salaries because we gotta control this thing somehow. So interesting.
Like they created free agency, but then we're like, okay, but we got to put some limits on this.
Yeah. Cause I know that the NBA has like higher limits. But for the NFL, they're definitely a bit stingier. Um, okay, let's see. The NFL is pushing to increase the regular season games. I think it's to 18 or 19. Let me see if I can find more information on it. But I think it's ultimately going to be negative for players, but beneficial for owners. They make more money, but I think this is going to lead to bad playoff football. Everybody's going to be injured because you're playing an extra game again. And I feel like every few years they're like, oh, let's add another game, and then another game, and then another game.
Yeah, it's diluting the product. And the first thing, the NFL says we care about player safety. And then they do this. You know how players get hurt? By playing in games. Adding more games. There is no reason to add more games to the NFL season besides more money.
Yeah. And there's honestly probably a direct correlation between the health of the running back market and the extension of the NFL season, honestly.
Oof. Yeah, that's probably been brutal on running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another 30 carries. Not
Absolutely.
if you make the playoffs too. There's another playoff game.
Yeah. Because it says the plan is to reach 18 regular season games and 2 preseason contests. The 20 game season and a limit. And then Florio wondered if going with a 20 regular season games and eliminating the preseason altogether might eventually follow. Honestly, that seems the way for things to be trending. We might not have a preseason anymore the way that at the rate that this is going, but I don't think that's good for the fans. Only good for the owners.
Isn't some of the awesomeness of football the scarcity of it? Like you get this one thing a week. Like even when they added Thursday night, we're like, this is a little much. Like you get this one thing a week, it lasts like 3 months, and then the playoffs, which is like another month and a half. And then it's done. It's like a third of the year. And it's every game matters so much.
What really raises the value of it when they want to put it in a situation where essentially football is longer and for more of the year. Yes, of course, as fans, we're going to enjoy it, but you're diluting it. You know, like you said, you're diluting the product. Ultimately, I think they're gonna go through with it because the owners are always gonna make the decision of more money, but it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and they're gonna trick the players into agreeing with it because it's like more money for us. I think the agreement is that it's a 50-50 split. All the players share 50% of the money, and that's the salary cap, like divided by 32. So they're like, hey, we make more money, you make more money, kind of. Not really. We make way more money, you make a little more money.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing because it's like it's they're kind of signing a 360 deal where it's like, oh, I mean, you guys play more games, we give you more money, but it's like your chance of getting injured and then your future contract potential also goes down. So really, yes, you're making more right now, maybe a couple more million, but really you're reducing your potential earning potential through your career overall. Because for a running back, like even looking at some of the running backs that got injured this year, look at Nick Chubb, for example. Nick Chubb has been injured multiple times at this point, and it's like when you look at him, J.K. Dobbins, even rookies nowadays like Keaton Mitchell, you see that there really doesn't seem to be a stop to the injuries. So the more games that are added, it's just going to be bad for the players.
Yeah, I mean, even look at the NFL doesn't care about running backs. Look at the only people they care about, the quarterbacks, the guys they make every rule to protect. We lost like half the starting quarterbacks in the league this year.
Yeah.
I think we've had way more quarterback injuries since they only added one extra game.
Yeah. You when you pay these gentlemen hundreds of millions of dollars, you're gonna squeeze all the juice you can out of the lemon. All of it. At any cost. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Um I hope with this added game, I just hope that the players stay healthier. But yeah, you're it's just another 60 minutes of collisions for 52 times. Yeah, it's like 1,000 more collisions. Essentially, it's a lot.
You
It's a
can't say
lot.
that you're focused on player safety and being like, but they're gonna play more games.
Yeah, it's pretty inconsistent. It's real. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's the way to go about things, but hey,
I wouldn't be
Funny.
surprised if the NFLPA has something to say about this.
yeah, because even to the extent of like they were taught that Thursday night games, they're like, yeah, there shouldn't be Thursday night games. Now you're adding a whole nother week.
And then soon they're gonna be like, okay, and now one of these teams is gonna be in Europe, and we're adding all this travel and
Yeah.
less rest time, and we're adding another week.
Oh yeah, because they were trying to do that global division of like Europe, London, Mexico,
Brazil,
Germany, and
Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil. And I'm like, why?
Because they ran out of like they're like, well, we everyone in America is already a football fan. How are we gonna make more money next year? We gotta find non-Americans to give us money.
Hey, NFL because it's national, right?
Supposedly international INFL, IFL.
IFL, International Football League.
Iffle.
If
Wait, so Dan, talk to us about the biggest whiff in recent history. You were doing
as
some research on
far
this.
as far as
Bryce Young.
oh, I won't call it a whiffy yet, but the Panthers look horrible for doing this. They traded everything you could trade, and then put put DJ Moore on the bow and shifted to Chicago for the first overall pick. I think they hired Frank Reich first. Go Terps, but nah, terrible coach. Um, who works with like not athletes or like bigger quarterbacks. He put the Philip Rivers and Carson Wentz. So I'm like, okay, you hire Frank Reich, you're probably gonna take AR or CJ Stroud. You trade up for the number one pick. I was like, okay, you're definitely taking CJ Stroud. Um Frank Reich and CJ Stroud had a conversation, but yeah, I mean, I know some houses in Carolina that can point you into a good neighborhood, etc., etc. Allegedly. And then you still take Bryce Young. There's nothing there, and Chua Hubbard's not that good. Hayden Hurst's not that good. Jonathan Mingo sucks. Adam Thielen is old. There's nothing there. So it's like, I love the Dave Canales hire, but that franchise just needs a lot of work. And now, on top of that, they didn't pay Brian Burns, and essentially they could have dealt him off for 2 firsts, and now they're getting nothing because they're not gonna pay him.
The Bryce Young
Bad.
sad. It's sad for Panthers fans. I mean, it couldn't have turned. It literally couldn't have turned out worse. It's like the Deshaun. Like, not only did they get a guy who's clearly not as good as the guy that went after him,
Facts.
and they got rid of maybe the best player on the team, DJ Moore. Not that he's an amazing player, but he's a good player.
He's pretty good. Pretty good.
And it's not a great team. And also, it's a great example of what we were talking about of quarterbacks, the results being based on what franchise they go to. Baker Mayfield was there, and he looked terrible. He got benched for Sam Darnold. And then he goes to an even semi-competent place that looks really good. And that place is bad. It's not built for Bryce Young. I like the hire. But that roster, just who do you keep on that? There was like a expansion draft and you're like, you get to save 3 players that can't get taken. Who you saving? Do they have 3 good players?
Bryce Young, Derek Brown. Derek Brown's good. I like Derek Brown. So Bryce Young, Derek Brown, and
What, Chuba?
No. Replaceable. Bryce Young, Derek Brown, and I guess Mingo, since you drafted them, and not really. You only really got 2 anchors there.
That's so unfortunate. This probably will go down as one of the biggest bad deals, but I think we got to wait a few years to see if Caleb Williams goes crazy and goes on to have like a great career. This will look very bad for the Panthers.
All they had to do was take CJ Stroud #1 overall, and this will look okay. This actually wouldn't be a problem because CJ Stroud is not going to put you to a #1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And now,
At least the Bears don't get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, so maybe they'll still be bad, but I think they'll be like a 6 pick or something like that. So Bryce Young, he needs help, and it's not really his fault. He wasn't great, but man, I'm sorry.
I don't know who you put in there, and there's probably players. You put Patrick Mahomes in there, they're a better team, but I still don't even think they would make the playoffs with any. You can put Tom Brady. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Pretty bad.
That team is missing a lot, and I don't think that it's going to get fixed anytime soon. They have to go the complete rebuild route, honestly.
Yeah, we can check in on the Panthers in 2030.
2030. That's fair. All right, but talk to me about what's going on with special teams.
Special teams.
This is the kickoff rule.
Yeah.
Oh, that. I don't even know what exactly is like this big brouhaha, but I guess they're proposing a rule where a team would only attempt an onside kick when down in the 4th and require them to declare in advance. So I just taking the excitement out of football piece by piece. And then if the kickoff team declares that they're attempting an onside kick, they could potentially be allowed to use the use the unbalanced 6x4 formation to increase chances. What?
Took it from the XFL. They're taking the XFL's kickoff rule.
I mean, it's interesting, but why are we doing this?
I think it's like we were talking about them caring about player safety. They care about it as long as it doesn't cost them anything, and changing the kickoff doesn't cost them any money. And a lot of guys get injured on kickoffs.
Well said. The kick and return teams will line up on the receiving team's 40-yard. And yeah, so XFL style touchbacks. Heck no, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's changing too much. You know what it is? And I was talking to some people online about this. It was about the NBA, but just sports in general. I just think we're at a point in life where that's our norms are just no longer the norms anymore. When I was growing up, the Rams were in St. Louis. There was a 16-game season. Running backs got paid a lot of money. And your best wide receiver was like 6'4". Now the best wide receivers are my height. The Rams are back in LA. There's a Vegas team. It's just so much has changed. And I just think our era is just gone.
Getting old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it was kind of crazy that the state of Missouri had 2 teams in it, and Los Angeles had 0.
See what I'm saying? This is where we are.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, the moving to Las Vegas hasn't been working out. All the players keep getting arrested. Who would have guessed you moved a bunch of 20-year-old millionaires to Las Vegas? They start going nuts.
Hey, man. And just hey, and the NBA wants to have a Vegas team soon as well. So
You're even younger. That seems like a worse idea.
it is. It is.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I know about the NFL is, if I know anything, is that they make decisions to make money. It's not about the health. Wealth over health any day of the week for the NFL.
Power over dollar.
Absolutely.
That's America.
Mm-hmm.
But let's change the temperature a little bit. Let's get into some of these hot takes.
All right.
I believe you got the first 2, Dan.
Oh, yeah. You know, March Madness is around the corner. We got brackets on the way. If you ask me, I think there'll be more upsets than first round QBs. No, than QBs, period, in the draft. I think there'll be more upsets in the tournament than QBs are taken in the draft this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because what? How many QBs? It's got to be less than 10, right?
I mean, you got the top of the top. You got your JJ. You got your I want to say Bryce Young, JJ, Kiro, Drake May, Jaden. So that's 4. And then you got the secondary guys like Bo Nix and all the other guys, Spencer Rattler. So yeah, maybe like 7 or 8.
I think there'll definitely be more than 8 upsets. What about you, Grayson? What do you think?
I agree. I think nowadays with the 3-point shot, like you could just get hot from 3, and a shitty team can be a really good team. And if you do that twice in a row, that's 2 huge upsets right there. I mean, in the past few years, I think last year we had like 2, like what was it, like a 6 seed and like a 9 seed in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just in a one and done situation with the variance of the 3-point shot now. Like I think that's just breeds more upsets, which is fun until you get like a 6 seed and an 8 seed in the championship, and you're just like, man, these teams are not that good.
Hey, it sells.
That is true.
It does sell.
Makes for a lot of sports betting too.
There you have it.
My buddy hit on that first 16 seed to beat a 1 seed.
What, the UMBC UVA?
Yeah, I think it was like it must have been like plus 13,000.
Oh.
Yeah, his bookie. It was before sports bet gambling was like was legal in the state we were in. I think we were still in Pennsylvania at the time. and his bookie was calling him like, "Hey, I'll cash you out for this number right now. I'll cash you out for this number right now." He's like, "No,
He
no."
said, "Nah, you're gonna have to pay what you owe." How much? How
Oh,
much did he end up getting off of that?
I think he only put down like $20, and I think he ended up getting like 900 something.
that's a good day.
Hey,
Good day.
that's what's up.
Especially UVA. UVA is trash. Like UVA basketball team, they get me every time. They do this every single year. They look good. They won the championship that 1 year. But aside from that 1 year, they do this every year. They look good. They're like the Cowboys. They get in the tournament and suck.
I mean, they won 1 year, so I don't know if I can really say that they're just a trash team per
Oh,
se.
they're bad. They're bad, bro.
They've been 1 seed how many times now?
I want to say they've been like a top 3 seed at least for the last decade.
I think they generally underperform expectations.
They're bad. Last year they got me. I was like, yeah, never again. Never again.
How'd they get you last year?
Because I thought they were gonna win. They lost to Fairleigh Dickinson.
Who?
Or no, they lost to no. They lost to who did they lose to last year? Purdue lost to Fairleigh Dickinson. But last year, UVA was 25-8, first seed, not first seed, but like first in their conference, and they played.
I'm seeing.
They played.
Louisville, right?
No, they played Texas A&M. Wait, no, wrong one. Hold on.
I'm talking about last year, 2023.
Yes.
It's saying. Did they lose to Wake? No, not Wake Forest. I see Virginia Tech. Was that February? Oh wait, no. Duke.
No, they played. They were the fate. Additionally, Virginia was knocked out in the first round to Furman, not Fairleigh Dickinson.
The
Furman.
13 seed Furman got an improbable steal and hit a three with seconds to go to upset 4 seed Virginia in the first round.
Every year. This is what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, never again. Nope.
We're gonna assume that 1 year they won was like the 1 year that you didn't bet on them.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm just like, yeah, never again. Never again. You lost to UNBC and Furman. No.
Hey, UMBC's comp though. UMBC's compy.
They haven't been in the tournament since.
Listen, but they had that one. You know, they had that one.
All you need. They can live off that for like 20 years.
Oh, for sure. But
honestly, they might have a banner up in the arena for that.
I would.
Mm-hmm. That's like those sad NBA teams that have like division title banners.
Absolutely. Only
titles in the NBA.
Only 16 seeds to beat a 1 seed. I feel like that's pretty, you know.
Yeah. Honestly, they should have a mural.
Honestly.
It's only happened twice, and they were the first.
So what's the second one you got for us, Dan?
What is this? Okay, my cold facts.
Oh no. You had another hot take.
Oh, I think Bryce Young throws for 4K next season.
Why do you think that?
I just think that Dave Canales hire is really speaking to me, man. I like the hire. And I feel like if you just give him some talent around him, he'll do 4K.
How are they going to get talent around him, though? They don't have their first round pick.
Well, you take Keon Coleman at the top of the second. Take probably take another wide receiver at the top of the third. And then potentially sign somebody. I think Adam Thielen was on a 2 or 3 year deal, so you got a couple things there. I'm just not out on Bryce Young yet. Not yet.
I'm rooting for it. It was so bad last year. Like I had like no strong feelings on him going in. I'm like, yeah, it's an Alabama QB. I don't care if he either way. Yep. But it went so bad that I'm like, I just want to see something out of this guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, led the league in sack yards.
I still don't get how he can play 17 games and only throw 11 touchdowns.
2-14 on the season.
Jonathan Mingo and Adam Thielen. DJ Chark. What?
There was one stretch, I was looking through his stats, where he went 6 of 7 games without throwing a touchdown. And that's how you throw 11 touchdowns in 17 games. You go 6 of 7 games without throwing a touchdown. I'm like, how? You're the quarterback. You're out there every play.
Yeah, I just, I'm not out yet. I'm gonna keep some faith.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I guess the system, but we'll see how things shake up this year. I don't think Bryce Young is by any means a bad QB. I think he definitely just had bad circumstances. I think
Like Frank worked with Carson Wentz, Philip Rivers. Was he Matt Ryan's the OC? I think he worked with Matt Ryan. Like big quarterbacks. Like that's his calling card. Like he works with big quarterbacks. Bryce Young is skinnier than me.
Should have got Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh God. Well, yeah, but I'm not a fan of Cliff.
I lived in Arizona when he was the coach there, and I was like, I went to a few games, and you could just see him on the sideline. He's not even watching.
Thank you. Cliff Kingsbury. Him and Kyle Shanahan. I just don't like them as like.
I like Kyle Shanahan because he's a bit of a nerd. Cliff Kingsbury is a guy who tries to be cool, and I think he literally got his job because he's handsome.
Kyle Shanahan's a nerd, but he be overthinking. And I'm like, bro, just go with what works. He's like, oh,
you should just let someone else take over in the fourth.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you think I put my shoes on one leg at a time? No, I put both in. I'm like, why? Why are you doing that?
He's a crash out type of guy. He's a
Yeah,
real
like bro, Kyle Shanahan is just the definition of they will never know my next move, even though everyone knows your next move.
Might be the Dave Chappelle of NFL coaches.
Dave Chappelle's a legend. Kyle Shanahan's a failure. So no,
I'm talking about the way he does funny things.
Oh yeah, there we go. There you go.
It's gonna disappear for a decade.
Yep. And my final cold fact, as we kind of
whoa, we still hot takes.
We are? Jeez.
Yeah. This hot take that I got for y'all is any QB drafted by the Bears won't do well in the NFL.
Yeah. They never have.
Define well, because you know how to argue.
I'd say the markers of well is at least make it to the conference championship.
I mean, you could say that by half the league then.
I said that we were talking about this before we started recording. Me and my little brother, for some reason, were digging into like the Bears QBs, and I don't think they ever had one since the 1940s.
Yeah,
a quarterback who made multiple Pro Bowls.
I believe it.
I would let that be the standard.
All right, so Mitch Trubisky was almost there.
He made one.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler, I think, also made one.
Yeah, so
I think the guy who was Terry Grossman, I think his name was, the 86 Bears guy. I think he made one. Rex Grossman. I think he made one. And then in 1940, they had a guy who made 2. So that was their best quarterback ever.
1940.
They haven't had a good quarterback in almost a century.
Wow,
it's weird because they usually have like a good roster besides that.
Yes, everything around the quarterback is definitely serviceable, especially in the wide receiver game when they had before it was Moosh and then Bernard, and then they had Alshon and Brandon, and then they had Anthony Miller and Darnell Mooney. Like they low-key had decent wide receiver production, regardless of who the quarterback has been. But if you go down the line, there's not much there.
Yeah, I don't know. Caleb Williams, I think if you ask someone, will the Bears have a quarterback who makes multiple Pro Bowls? They'll be like, probably not. But if you go like, will Caleb Williams have multiple Pro Bowls? They'll say definitely.
Yes.
And then if you're like, well, Caleb Williams going to the Bears, they won't know what to say.
Yep.
This Bears roster is not the worst. I've seen a lot worse. This Bears roster can win 6 to 8 games. So, yeah.
So also before recording, the conversation spun off into, well, who exactly owns the Bears? The Bears' owner is 101 years old. Virginia Hallis McCaskey, female owner. She inherited it from her father, who founded the team,
George Hallis.
George Hallis.
Yes.
Do you think that she's making decisions on players and QBs?
I mean, man, Joe Biden's. They question if Joe Biden is too old, and he is 20 years younger than her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's making decisions on what she wears, man.
That's fair. She the owner though, so maybe.
Ownership.
And in the spirit of nepotism, her son is the chairman.
Yeah, so I think he's the person that's really pushing all the buttons.
Maybe.
I don't think it's successful button pushing, but yeah, I think we gotta focus on that guy.
I feel like the Bears haven't been terrible. They've just been very mediocre for a very long time.
Yeah, they just got a new president. Ted Phillips was the president for 23 years. They just brought in Kevin Warren this past year. And he's also the CEO. Former Big Ten commissioner is now the CEO of the Bears. So
Oh, damn. I mean, the Big Ten is well run, I guess.
see,
I don't know if what's the CEO of a team do? I know president is usually like a fancy word for GM. What does the CEO do?
he holds president. His title is president and CEO. He was the CEO. He was the COO of the Vikings. Prior to that, he's had a few cups of coffee in the NFC North. So yeah, I think he. Oh, but he went to Notre Dame. Never mind.
He's out.
Never mind. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, he was hired the top of January last year as the new team president and CEO. So I'm sure he's just playing an executive financial role, but I don't know much else.
I hope the Bears get a good quarterback. When I lived in Arizona, my best friend there was a Bears fan. And we'd
That's so
watch
fun.
it. We do every like Sunday football thing. We go to the same place. We'd watch it. They had like 40 TVs right in front of us. And I'd watch every Bears game with him. It was when Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback. And it was just watching a guy get heartbroken over and over. It was just like, oh, he overthrew that ball. And the next one was like, oh, he underthrew that ball. And and then they got a new quarterback, and it was the same thing. It was like, man, this team has a good defense. It has a good fan base. It's in a big market. If they could just get someone who can throw a football.
That seems like the key. That does seem like the key.
Turns out it's harder said than done. Or easier said.
It's definitely harder than teams make it appear. Absolutely.
No, the fact that they traded up to Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes is insane to me.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they probably have the greatest list of players they could have had.
Might as well consider one day.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Is there any other really famous like misses that they made?
I feel like that's the one, but I'm sure there are others. Let me look. Oh, they took Kevin White over somebody. that was probably a lot better than Kevin White. Let's see.
Everyone's better than Kevin White.
Hey, well, yeah, they took Kevin White 7th overall when they could have had the likes of Todd Gurley.
Great.
Yeah,
They,
Todd Gurley.
they could have had Joe Montana.
Oh,
So they could have had two. They missed out on two of probably the three best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why this team has never had a good quarterback. I mean, everyone in the league could have drafted Tom Brady.
yeah, he won what was it, 199?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, what do you guys think about Brock Purdy? Because we were talking about Tom Brady going 199. Do you think he's like legit, or is it just a slightly better Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think he's legit.
I think there's nothing there.
I think he can do things well because he plays quarterback. So you need a certain level of ability to play quarterback. But all he does is put the square in the square box. He doesn't build anything. He just he's taking what's built and just putting it where it needs to be.
I think he's top 5. I think he's top 5 in the NFL.
Top 5 what?
QBs. I think he's 5.
I think he's probably 10th, but still 10's really
he's
good.
16th. He's
16th?
He's right in the middle.
Now I need you to go through it. Let's with Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Who else is better than him?
Oh no. I mean, are we counting the old heads? A-Rod, Stafford.
A-Rod will count. I don't know. We'll see how good he is at 41, coming off an Achilles tear that ended Kobe's career at like 34.
Have it been?
I think it's fair we measure players by how they performed this year.
Well, A-Rod played 4 snaps and was not good at any of them.
Yeah.
No, we're judging resumes.
Yeah. How are we gonna judge a resume? He's been in the league for like 3 years.
If we're judging resume, he's basically made the NFC Championship every time and has lost like 3 games. He's probably has
exactly. And I'll still take 15 other QBs over Brock Purdy.
You're taking Josh Allen over. If you're going by resume, then that means you shouldn't take Josh Allen over.
No, I'll take the crash dummy.
The crash dummy. That's a good name for him.
I'll take him.
You took Dak Prescott over Brock Purdy?
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Explain.
I think that's the line. I think he's right above Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
What do you think Dak Prescott is?
I think, where did I put Dak? I think I put Dak at like 11 or 12.
You're taking Dak, who's making $60 million a year, over a QB who makes $1 million. As a GM, that's just not a financially responsible decision.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna make that money back on the back end.
I guess on jersey sales, not the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I mean, you put Brock Purdy on the Cowboys. If you switch them, do you think the Cowboys get worse and the 49ers get better?
No, I think the Cowboys get better, honestly.
I think
they're about the same, so I think it's a wash.
Yeah, I think it's a wash.
I think the 49ers are about the same, but I think the Cowboys get better. Because some of the decisions.
What do you see in Brock Purdy that makes you think this?
Let's look at the stats.
I think he led the league in passer rating, yes. He's not bad, but like there's just a lot of people better.
I think if he's top 10, he's probably closer to 10 than he is the 1.
Well said.
And yeah, 5th is hard for me.
Listen, after this season, you guys will this upcoming season, you guys will think differently. Trust.
If he does it again, if he just goes 3 straight seasons of like barely ever losing a game, and I know it's an unbelievable team around him, but Jalen Hurts is a good example. Is it significantly better team than Jalen Hurts has?
Well, they crashed out after week 12. I don't know what happened in Philly.
Yeah, but you got AJ Brown, you got one of the best O lines, good running backs.
I'm more so talking about the talent, and I will take Dak as a talent over Brock Purdy.
But the thing is, when you look at Dak, he had the highest passer rating in the league. He led the league in yards per attempt. He threw for almost 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns. I mean, the guy, he knows ball. 12-4 this season. He has only 4 losses in his career. If anything, it seems like he's on a similar trajectory to being an all-time great. Only 4 losses through 2 seasons. He started 5-0. Hey.
Honestly, I thought it was very Tom Brady-esque. That's why I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, it's going to be a guy who is.
He's as good as the situation around him. He doesn't elevate. He's being carried.
I mean, he still has to throw the ball. Like,
yes. Nick Mullins threw over 300 yards in that offense.
And lost every game, didn't he?
I think he won one.
Dad, can you just admit you're being a hater?
I'm not. I'm just.
I think he's trying to. I think he's having the reaction I have to players, where like this guy that he thinks is just good is being called great, and
yeah, he went in the 7th round.
Okay,
but he went in the 6th.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott went in the 4th.
So what does Brock Purdy need to do for you to consider him to be a top 10 QB, Dan?
Play better than the 14 quarterbacks I have ahead of him.
Who do you have right ahead of him?
Right ahead?
Give me the 4 QBs you have ahead of him. Let's see what it takes for him to crack this top 10.
The first 4? Okay, I have Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Jared Goff.
Goff?
Yes.
Goff?
Yes.
Goff is very comparable to Brock Purdy. Very benefit of the system kind of guy.
We'll get there. Jordan Love as a talent. And then
if Brock Purdy beat Jordan Love, how is Jordan Love better?
He's accomplished a lot more than Jordan Love has.
We cannot minimize an 11-11 sport to just 2 players that play opposite sides and don't play against each other.
So when we're looking at him, we're minimizing, but when we're comparing him to other players, we can't minimize it 1-to-1. They play a game against each other. We can look at the stats. Same way we can look at the Cowboys versus the Packers and the wild card and see that Jordan Love balled out and Dak Prescott shat the bed.
Be that as it may. Show me more.
So it's just length of career.
Yes, show me more.
I think if he does it again, he has to be in that top 5 conversation. If he does what he did this year again.
Yeah. He played great. He set many records, but show me more.
Okay. All right. But change the temperature for us. Hit us with some of these cold facts.
All right. Let me pull up my good old laptop. Okay. So, did you know that I can't find my data? Okay. There were only 3 rookies in NBA history to have a box score of 35 and 5. 30 points, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in one game. They were all Spurs, and they all won number 1 overall. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Wemby. Two out of these 3 gentlemen have done it twice. David Robinson and Wemby. So the Spurs know something about drafting centers, especially centers with unique backgrounds. So,
I mean, David Robinson was also like 25 when he came into the league.
Yeah.
Because what he came from the Navy, right?
Yes, sir.
back when you had to do all of college, and then he also had to do 2 years in the Navy.
The general.
Still get the admiral. The admiral.
Admiral.
And still got buckets.
It was monster. Someone was trying to argue with me, like, "Oh, you think like those guys that Jordan played could play in the league now?" And I was talking about like Barkley and David Robinson. Like, yeah, they would. Have you seen a
Absolutely.
picture of David Robinson? Like,
Absolutely.
those guys were genetic freaks.
David Robinson was 7'1", 250.
Yeah,
Averaging 21 and 11 and 3 blocks. That's not regular at all.
he was insane. I think
By
like,
the that poses a question. By the end of Wemby's career, where do you think he'll rank amongst these two other first-round picks by the Spurs?
Last.
Really?
Yeah, but that's not a knock. I just think he's not winning 5.
Whoa,
rings.
he's a rookie.
No, I don't see it happening.
5's a lot, man.
Yeah, he's not winning 5 rings.
He's probably got like 20 to 18 years.
Okay. I don't think he's going to win 5 rings.
Okay.
If you set it over and under at 5, 5's a lot.
Yeah, taking the under. I think he will get more defensive player of the years and more block. Oh yeah, because David Robinson only got the league in blocks once.
He's gonna lead the league in blocks this year.
Yeah, so he'll do that more than David Robinson, and rebounding is that's questionable. But David Robinson has a scoring title, a block title, and a rebound title in a 4-year span.
Listen, right? You guys gotta think long game, right? I'm thinking about this the same way I'm thinking about Giannis, right? How Giannis had to pack on weight and build muscle. Wemby's like what? 7 what?
7'6".
7'6", like that is awesome.
This is Giannis skinny as hell as rookie year.
Look at that.
Yeah. Right. He's 7'6", and he's definitely not over 250.
No.
Right. He needs to put on weight and build muscle. And once he does that, give him an off season or 2, maybe 3. He's gonna be very, very scary.
He's 7'4", 210. He's mad young, I will say. He's like 19. Super young. He's 20. He just turned 20.
Oh. So
yes, I think the future is bright. I just don't see it. He's been comped to the likes of Ralph Sampson, AD's Rocket that went for first overall. And they said if he has a Ralph Sampson career, that's a failure. I disagree, but I just don't think that's what people say. I don't agree with that.
Is it Ralph Sampson like on the NBA 75?
Is he? Let me see.
I think he got injured too soon. Like he had an injury like right after like that finals run.
Yes. He is not, but he did go to UVA. And he played a decent amount of time, 4-time All-Star, no rings. So yeah, they said if he has a Ralph Sampson career as a failure, at first I was like, a failure is a stretch.
I mean, 4 All-Stars, no rings. I think that's a failure for
that's what I was like. Yeah, once I dug a little deeper, I was like, yeah, I can agree with that.
I would say setting the over under 5 rings is a lot. I mean, LeBron doesn't have 5 rings.
I think LeBron gets another ring before he retires.
I think that as well. Not this year though. I think Wemby gets 1. 2.
I would say I would set the over under at 2.5.
I'll take the under. That's a good line.
You guys wanna bet on the slip?
I would tell it.
I mean
2.5.
Dan's line is what? I mean, you know me, Dan. I don't shy away from lifetime bets.
I think the only thing that gets in the way of Wemby being a top 10 player is injury.
Yeah.
So 2.5, so he has to get 3 championships.
Oh, Dan, you said 1.
Grayson said 2.5.
I said 2. I thought 5 was way too much. I'm like, basically that's just Duncan, Kobe, and
I think I think he at least gets 4.
I'll take the 100. At
I would
least
take the over.
I'll
I would take the over on 2.5. I think he gets 3.
Okay.
We don't know like who's his teammates gonna be, how long's
That's what I'm
gonna be
saying.
there,
I do think
be
I do.
healthy.
Yeah, I do think they're gonna take Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky.
Mhm.
That's gonna be the new Shaq and Kobe. I think that's a nice little pairing if they do that. But nah, he's not winning more than 3.
No, I actually got to see him play in person. I went to a Nets game a couple weeks when they played the Nets. It was like his worst game of 2024 so far, and it's still just insane to look at. It is. And we were up there and we were just like, that is the craziest looking person I've ever seen. And he just drained like 4 threes in a row. And he was like, there was a guy right in his face, but he couldn't get anywhere near to contest it.
How do you defend somebody who's 7'6"?
I will admit, I'm looking at his progression over the years. He's adding muscle over time.
There was that picture next to AD, and everyone was obsessed with like he's so much taller than AD. I'm like, yo, he's starting to look a little big. He's starting to look a little...
Yeah. You know that Texas barbecue. It'll do something to you.
It is so good.
Yeah.
What's that stuff? Something Blacks. It was Johnny Blacks, I think is the name of the barbecue place in Austin.
Johnny Blacks.
Terry Blacks.
Terry Blacks. I might need to put that on my radar.
But my main thing is this guy packs on some muscle over the next few years. He has a bigger ceiling than Giannis. And Giannis is the Greek freak.
He's the French freak.
The alien.
The alien.
I think the alien should be his name. It doesn't look like a human being, man. It's the way I was explaining him to my girlfriend was just like I touched her head because he has like an 8-foot wingspan. So I extended my arm as much as I could and touched her head. Then I took like 5 giant steps back and be like, imagine if I could touch your head from here.
Oh my.
Jeez. No, but what else you got for us there?
Shout out to it's just, I mean, let me see here. I talked about the 16-1 odds. I talked about the Wemby. Well, this kind of spills over into basketball. So LeBron is the only player in the NBA to match 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. He's solidified this milestone over the weekend, I believe. So yes, I know longevity plays a factor in GOAT debates, but that word only means something. If I'm the only person to do something, there's not many people like me, so I'm automatically top something, you know. LeBron is LeBron.
LeBron's LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone ever beats that.
I don't think they will. Not for a long
40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. This man is 40 years old.
I mean, Kareem had his record for like 39 years. So who knows what basketball looks like in 40 years? Maybe someone does something then.
Like
at a 4.1 or something.
I don't even think people have even really grasped the magnitude of this. LeBron has averaged 27 points over the entirety of his career. Yeah. He's been in the league for 20 or 19?
It's 20. This is the 20.
This is 21.
Oh, this is 21.
Yeah, because you know that bubble year had the little re-up. So yeah, this was 21, I think. 1, 2, 3.
Damn it.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I guess I think it's 20 because he was drafted in 03. That would have ended in 04. And then this season ends in 04. Unless I'm doing my math wrong, because sometimes you.
Yeah, because so after the bubble, right? When they won the ring in the bubble, he played one more year. So that was 18. And then the 2 years after that was 19, 20. So this year's 21.
Okay. So 21 years, averaging 27 points.
Insane.
I think his career average stat line is 27, 7, and 7.
Yeah. If you round up the rebounds to 8, then yeah, 27, 8, and 7.
You know what's the craziest thing and why I'll never get beaten? Someone was I forgot I was talking about it, about how I'll never get beaten. Do you know, at Wemby's age, Wemby is going 21. He's playing 28 minutes a game. He'll probably end up playing like 70-ish games this season. Do you know what LeBron did his when he was the same age as Wemby? He played 80 games at 42 minutes a game. No one's doing that ever again.
Different type of motor. Different type of motor.
No one's playing 42 minutes a game ever again.
Yeah, and then y'all wonder why he only plays like 32 minutes now. He was playing 40 minutes. Like, come on, man.
That's like a normal amount for a star to play now.
He led the league in minutes per game his second year in the league.
That's insane. And also, he came in through high school. He was 18. His second year, he was a year younger than Wemby is now, and he was already like the 5th best player in the league.
Hey, man.
Oh,
hey, you know
what can you do?
Right. Wemby, LeBron, they're gonna be in the same conversation one day.
Down the line, yes.
That's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I had a literal nightmare about Wemby having like a career-altering injury. I'm like, no, this guy's way too fun to watch. Please don't let that happen.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah, stay healthy.
I hope he does stay healthy.
Please.
But then talk to us about what else is going on in the NBA.
What we got? Yusuf Nurkic had 31 rebounds in the game.
What?
Yeah, he crashed the board. He crashed the boards 31 times. It's the most rebounds in the game since 2010. He also broke the franchise record for the Suns, which was previously held by Tyson Chandler, who had 27 rebounds in 2016.
Love Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, good guy. Yusuf Nurkic, he used to play with Joker. Like, he's kind of had like a very topsy-turvy career. He broke his leg. It was like really, really bad. And then Joker hit his prime, and then he kind of fell to the wayside, especially after that injury. Then he got traded to Phoenix to compete. Yeah, 14 points, 31 rebounds.
He was jumping out the house.
That part.
He's better on defense than I thought he was.
Yes. The 31 rebounds was the most rebounds in the game since 2000, tied with Kevin Love.
Props to Kevin Love, underrated guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kevin Love still in the league?
You could say that.
Yeah, is he on the Heat?
You could say that.
They're not playing, which was weird because he was like starting for them during that run.
Oh,
yeah.
he when was the last time he played? He's on the team, but he hasn't played since. Oh, okay, just 3 games. He hasn't played in 3 games.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can say that. He's 35. Like, here's what my era.
9 years to match LeBron.
Yeah, he's 35, and I was watching Kevin Love in college, and he's 35 now.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
You're getting old, man.
Like this.
The worst thing is being at that age when the players start being younger than you. That was the biggest transition. Because I'm 47 now. It's like it's just weird.
Yeah, Wemby was born in 2004, I think.
Yes.
Players getting drafted this year in the NBA are going to be 2005.
They weren't even around when Get Rich and Die Trying came out.
Listen, man. Jameer Nelson's son is playing ball right now. Frank Gore's son is entering the league.
Yeah.
LeBron has played with against people's dads and their sons.
Yes. Gary Trent Sr. and Jr., Gary Payton Sr. and Jr. Did he play against Del Curry?
Oh, he might have.
Did he play against Del Curry? Oh my goodness.
Let's see when Del Curry retired. Del Curry. Let's see.
Underratedly, LeBron came in the year that MJ retired for the final time.
Yeah.
Del Curry retired in 02.
Okay, so right, just missed them.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be weird. It's like with Tom Brady not being there this year. It just feels like there's something missing when LeBron goes. Like what?
LeBron played against his own coach. He played against Darvin Ham.
He played against Luke Walton.
Luke Walton. Oh my god.
Luke Walton was in his draft class.
Oh my goodness.
And he was his coach like 6 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Gary Trent Sr., Gary Payton, Rick Brunson, amongst others. LeBron, man, something about that guy. Speaking of Rick Brunson, I think Rick Brunson's coaching the Knicks, and his son unfortunately suffered a terrible ankle injury. He was cooking this year. I'm really hoping that Jalen Brunson comes back for the playoffs because I like the Knicks and I really want them to. I see them making the Eastern Conference Finals if they're healthy. But if Jalen Brunson is not at full strength, that's a pipe dream. So I'm hoping that he can bounce back.
I think he'll be fine from this injury. I think he avoided a major one. But the thing with the Knicks is what the hell's going on with Julius Randle? They won't tell anyone.
Not too much. Not too much. That's my guy. Not too much.
Yeah. I think full health, they're the only team. I think they just match up better with the I think the Bucks are the second best team, but I think they just match up better with the Celtics.
I hope y'all are prepared for this first round exit that the Bucks are about to give y'all.
Whoa.
Because I
Steamer.
I'm ready for it.
Why do you think that?
The only reason they lost in the first round last year is because Giannis missed most of the games.
Why do you think
that? They went from Mike Budenholzer to
Doc Rivers.
To Dan's favorite coach.
Wait, can I give you my take?
Go ahead.
Jimmy Haslam, you guys, the owner of the Browns,
yeah,
bought the Bucks halfway through last season, and since then they've been making nothing but Browns moves.
Oh,
they went from a coach who won the championship 2 years ago, fired him because his best player got injured in the first round, so they lost.
Yep.
To the assistant coach who won a championship 5 years ago, fired him and hired a coach who won a championship 16 years ago. You're moving further away.
And what we fail to realize is
they're just making Browns moves.
When you have Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce in one room, what are you coaching? What are you coaching?
You roll the ball out.
Yes. What are you coaching?
You're coaching egos. That's all you're doing. You don't got to scheme. You just got to make sure they don't hate each other.
Exactly. And then we saw him in LA forward, and then he gets another. And oh wait, no, we saw him in Philly forward, and then he's in Milwaukee. I can't wait. I think
they probably a second round team. It really depends on matchups for them. They're really coming on lately.
If
Giannis has been playing out of his mind.
If they get out the first round, they're not getting out the second. But I think they're going to 6-4-2.
I think they'll probably end up playing in the second round, like maybe the Embiid-less Sixers, depending on what happens with him.
Well said.
I got a hot take for you guys. The West Coast Conference Finals will be between OKC and the Lakers.
I don't hate it. I just don't agree.
I don't even think that's.
I don't hate it though.
I think the Nuggets are gonna get taken out by the OKC early.
And how many games?
Probably go 7.
Okay. I don't hate it. I just don't agree.
I just don't know if the Lakers can do another from the play into the Western Conference Finals run. Especially now they're gonna have to play 2 playing games.
Yeah. This Lakers team is not it. Darvin Ham is out of here. I feel as though I don't know what they need to do, but Darvingham is not it. He's just not it.
D'Angelo Russell's also not it.
I have more faith in D'Angelo Russell than Darvingham, but that's not saying much. I will admit.
You know who they could really use?
Shoot.
Alex Caruso, that guy they used to have.
I'm
A good 3-and-D point guard.
not gonna lie. I don't think they'll be able to get Josh Hart, but if they have like a Josh Hart type,
That's my favorite player on the Knicks. Don't take him.
I was just saying, like if they just had like a Josh Hart, who else? Who like a OG Anunoby? I know he's
You're just taking Knicks guys, man.
he's all get some Knicks guys. Like I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of a
Think
non.
LeBron this offseason should go to the Knicks.
We did see him with the towel because him and Clutch and the Knicks were having beef for a while. I guess they kind of squashed that beef this year. I don't know. I'd like to see it.
Knicks would have to draft Bronny. I would seal it.
Yeah.
Just use your first round, whatever you end up with. They're gonna have a late first round pick anyway. Just pick Bronny. You get LeBron, it'd be fun.
There it is.
He plays for the league minimum. He's got $1 billion shoe deal. You're good.
There it is.
Have you guys heard about Fred VanVleet's contract?
Yeah. He was one of the first people to sign the deal during free agency.
He's making $41 million this year.
Yeah.
He's making more than Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Pascal Siakam, Kyrie Irving, and Devin Booker.
Well, they all signed extensions. So that can't be true.
No, I think maybe their extensions don't kick in yet, and that's why it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Because they all signed it. Well, I think Pascal might be on a rookie deal or something. But I know Luka and Trey got paid something crazy.
To give you guys a picture of Fred VanVleet's stats this year, he's averaging 37 minutes, 16 and a half points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and almost a block.
Yeah, he's not a $40 million player.
These NBA contracts are getting inflated. And I don't know if it's because of the player association or what's going on, but I know the owners are probably not happy, especially the Rockets owner.
Because they're stuck because of the system where max contracts is like, well, if you don't give it to them, someone else will.
That's true.
Jaylen Brown is getting paid the entire budget of Avengers Endgame. He's getting $300 million.
Yo, you getting paid some of the getting paid the movie budget is insane when you say it that way.
Yeah, that was one of our memes. It was Jaylen Brown's getting an Avengers Endgame. I think at the time, who was it? I forgot who it was, but I'm like, they're just making Captain America Winter Soldier money.
That I'm stealing that.
Yeah, I think it was Luka. Luka was making Captain America Winter Soldier money.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Luka and Trae Young had the exact same deal.
How long before we see a $500 million contract?
I see
5 years.
276.
Like the new TV deal, right? Is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 5 years.
5 years.
I might have the answer. I'm trying to look at
When's Wemby's contract up?
Yeah, in about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they might give him everything.
Give him San Antonio. How much is that city worth?
They might give him a Patrick Mahomes structured deal. We'll give you partial ownership in like the San Antonio. What's
Rangers?
Well, you can't give him the Texas Rangers. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Why not?
Texas Rangers are like that. You can't give them owner in the Texas Rangers.
It's too good of a franchise.
Yeah,
What's up with the how
Give him,
good?
honestly, give him the Texans.
Oh man,
maybe the
Push along.
what other San Antonio teams are? They got a soccer team, San Antonio FC.
I think they actually also gave Mahomes part of a soccer team.
wait a minute. You mean to tell me that? Wait. So I don't watch baseball that much, but like the Rangers are that better than the Royals?
Just recently, they've won 2
Okay.
series. I also don't watch baseball that much, but I think they won 2 World Series in the past 5 years.
Let me see.
Oh,
Texas Rangers.
I know they beat the Yankees.
Yeah,
yay!
they even won today. Let's see.
Yeah, we got some spring training action. I made a promise this year will be the year I tune in. I haven't tuned in yet, but I will. Give me time.
Playoff baseball is fun. Tune in the fall.
Absolutely.
Problem is, that's when other sports start.
That's the thing. That's why I keep missing it. But I'm gonna make an effort this year.
Oh, I did not know that the Texan Rangers were the Washington Senators
What?
Yeah, back in the day.
back
And
in
the
1961 to
Nationals used to
71.
be I think the Nationals used to be the Expos. So yeah, the more you know.
Let me see. Let me
I
see.
think they won 2 World Series recently.
I'm trying to find it.
Let's see. They won a World Series. Oh, I guess 20. Okay, they made the World Series twice recently.
Yeah.
They only won it once. I guess.
Yes. Yeah. They won the World Series versus the Diamondbacks, and then what else?
Yeah, they just won it.
Yep.
They made it uh 3 times, I guess. The pennant is that what the count? Yeah, league championship. So yeah, they made it 3 times.
Yeah, give him a little bit of I think George Bush owns a part of that team.
Mm.
See, you got Ray Davis.
Take his stake.
Yeah, why not? Ray Davis, Bob Simpson, and any other minority owners not listed. But hey, why not?
We'll see. But Dan, talk to me about this. I didn't watch it, unfortunately. The Johnny Manziel Club Shay Shay interview.
Listen, man. First of all, watch it.
I'm gonna put it on my list this week.
Second of all, shout out to Unc again. Unc is killing it. Yo, these interviews are fire. And Johnny Manziel, first of all, as you all know, he had a storied history with alcohol and stuff of that nature. He really looks like he's in a good place, looking healthy. So I'm gonna tip my cap there. Um, yeah, he touched on a lot of different topics. He talked about Kyler Murray in Texas being like top 2 and not 2. Like Kyler Murray in Texas is actually him Jones. He also highlighted how Josh McCown is really a stand-up dude and how he went to bat for him and like the coaching staff was like not really trying to see his potential, amongst other things. It's a really good watch. I don't wanna water it down. I really think I should check it out. And also he's still with Reggie Bush, even though the Heisman committee, the NCAA, took all his memorabilia and all that stuff. He's sided with Reggie Bush, and he's also not participating in the Heisman celebrations until Reggie Bush gets his trophy back. And for those of you who don't know, he won the Heisman, and the NCAA took it away because I think he got some autograph money or something like that. So yeah, it was well said. It was a good watch.
Okay, I'll definitely need to check it out. I know Johnny Manziel. He's a rock star. He's definitely a rock star. And some may think that, and I don't know. Probably the biggest what if is what if he wasn't drafted to the Browns, right? The franchise that's not really known for breeding good QBs. It's a big what if.
I think Johnny Manziel, the way he was, he would have busted out wherever. It's not even a talent thing. it's a personality thing. Wherever he was, I think he would have busted out. But other places may have been able to fix it before it went too bad. Because he was a mess of like.
Yeah.
I lived in Arizona. He lives there now. You would see him around at the clubs. Like he was still a mess until like 2 years ago. And his parents were worried about. Remember, his dad went on TV. He's like, "I think my son's gonna die."
Mm.
He was going to clubs, like in fake mustaches, so the paparazzis wouldn't see. Like the night before games, he admitted he'd never watched a single minute of film.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, if you send them to like the Patriots, if you forced them to do it and had like the patience with it, maybe they could have worked it out after a few years. But I don't know if he ever would have made it.
mm.
But the Browns is the worst place anyone could go. Them and the Jets. So
Yeah.
that no favors.
Well said. Well said. No, but I think we just about covered everything, guys. Thank you so much, Grayson, for coming on. Really appreciate you. Everybody, I want you guys to go check out 200 Proof Sports and Grayson, shout out anything you want to mention.
Just 200 Proof Sports on Instagram and TikTok. I promise I will post more there. And thank you guys for having me so much. I had a great time.
We really appreciate you coming through, and we look forward to what the future holds.
All right.
But all right, guys, if you aren't already, follow us on Instagram if you're at the Fever Pitch Pod. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Turn on that notification bell so you can catch the Fever Pitch Podcast twice weekly. And also on YouTube, subscribe. And check out the Doppler Effect article. I know, Dan, you're coming out with another article soon. So stay posted, guys. But that being said, we'll catch you guys next time and look forward to some March Madness content coming soon. We'll be hosting a bit of a sweepstakes tournament with a cash prize, but more information on that coming soon. But that being said, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.